What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons injury report in this upcoming game. Now, at the end of the day, there's actually quite a hefty amount of people that could potentially be missing this game for both teams, and that could be, I guess, a key indicator of who might be able to walk away with a win in this timeout. It's a very big game for the Bulls. It's at our home turf first and foremost. We've had a couple days break. It's a crucial week coming for the Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of games that we have to look forward to. We have to start it off right, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully we can do that against this Detroit Pistons team. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their upcoming game against the Detroit Pistons, and do you think these guys being out for both the Bulls and the Pistons will make a big impact? We'll start off with the Chicago Bulls. First and foremost, Alex Caruso is questionable to play in this game against the Detroit Pistons. He has a left toe sprain. Now, Alex Caruso, if you looked at how he's kind of getting injuries racked up this season, the last thing you would probably expect is for him to have a toe sprain. He has a whole arm sleeve just to get comfortable with that elbow. I think he had shoulder pain at some point as well. The guy's been falling left, right, and center, taking charges. Again, the guy's a warrior, and he dedicates his entire body to the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, kind of interesting to see that the injury that's going to keep him out is a left toe sprain. Now, question was 50-50, so I do expect him to play, but it is the back-to-back situation. We've got the Bucks after this game against the Pistons. So which one would you rather have him in? Honestly, it's actually quite a bit of a discussion because the Pistons are not a guaranteed win. They beat us before in their home opener. So I can't actually sit here and tell you that I'd rather Alex Caruso to play against the Bucks than against the Detroit Pistons and stuff of that nature. So which one would I rather have him in? Well, again, I think the Bucks is a more personal game for the Chicago Bulls. That's a rivalry game. They obviously have a new little team, Dame and Giannis and everything in between and everything like that. So maybe I'd rather have Alex Caruso against the Bucks. But again, if we don't see Alex Caruso against the Pistons, there's still no guarantee that we would win with him in the team or with him without the team, with him being out of the team. So I don't really know. In all honesty, it's a hard decision, hard question to be asked. I know people will just say straight to the Bucks, but if we lose that against the Pistons tomorrow or in a couple of hours' time, I think people would be saying we should have had Alex Caruso. So we'll wait and see what ends up happening. Maybe we'll just play in both and we'll see what ends up happening as a result. Dalen Terry is going to be out in this game with a left patella tendonitis. Again, patella injuries are no fun, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure if you guys have had patella injuries in the past, I've had patella injuries in the past. They are not very fun. They're not very pleasant. They are very, very annoying, a nuisance, and it affects daily life in many ways. But at the end of the day, Dalen Terry's not necessarily a main vocal point in the Chicago Bulls. It doesn't look like he's going to get his opportunity anytime soon, but it's still important to discuss because you never know when his time might come. Maybe if the injury did not happen to Dalen Terry, he would have played in this game against the Pistons. We don't know. Things change on a daily basis when it comes to competitive sports, and maybe Dalen Terry could have had an opportunity. I'm not too sure. Either way, it's still very important to discuss. And Patrick Williams is probable to play against the Detroit Pistons with a left finger sprain. Probable is 75% chance he will play, with a 25% chance he may miss this game. So again, it looks like he's got a bit of a sprain on his finger, and again, most likely to play. Patrick Williams did play all 82 games last season for the Chicago Bulls, so you could question all you like about his mentality, his aggressiveness, and everything in between. One thing you can't deny is that when it comes to Patrick Williams, it's going to take a lot for him to miss games. Maybe this left sprain will be it, but it doesn't look likely. Anyway, let's look at the Detroit Pistons side of things, and they actually have quite a few people questionable to play. But one person that is actually going to be listed as out for the Detroit Pistons is Jalen Duren, who had 23 points against the Chicago Bulls last time out and absolutely cooked us as one of the Detroit Pistons' better players. He's going to be out in this game. So that means, in my eyes at least, there is no reason why the Chicago Bulls should not dominate the paint in this timeout. One of the key areas that Detroit really cooked the Chicago Bulls in was the fact that they controlled the paint and they dominated in the paint and they took advantage of massive mismatches. Hopefully there won't be so many of them this time out with a guy like Duren being out of this game. So there's no excuse now for the Bulls not to dominate the paint. That's one person out, but there's a couple of other guys out that are going to be, there are a couple of other guys that could be out. So you got Bogdanovich that could be out, Monte Morris is out, and Joe Harris is out as well. So obviously Bogdanovic, we know, is an amazing scorer in this league. He's dropped a couple of 20-point games on the Chicago Bulls. Monte Morris is a vet, and Joe Harris is a good three-point shooter as well. So those are key guys out for the Detroit Pistons. Then you got two other guys that could potentially be questionable for the Detroit Pistons, and that's Jaden Ivey, one of the quickest guards in the league, and caused us a lot of problems in that last game as well. And Alec Burks, who was one of those guys that really got hot in that game against the Chicago Bulls. He will also be out in this game as well. So there's quite a number of guys that are out, or he's actually questioned. Both of these guys are questionable, my apologies. 50-50% chance. I'm talking about Alec Burke and Jaden Ivey. They're both questionable. Everybody else that I mentioned is out. Had to make that clear. But either way, a lot of guys that could be out, a lot of guys that might not play. So the Bulls do have the advantage in this timeout. Now, again, advantages mean nothing in the NBA, especially with how the Bulls play on occasion. We do struggle, and sometimes we do fall, and sometimes we don't do well, and sometimes we just continue to disappoint Bulls Nation. This game is very pivotal for the Chicago Bulls because of the week that we have and how many games we have at home, and you have to start it off right in this timeout. So we shall wait and see how it goes. I'm hoping for a good result here against Detroit, but again, Detroit are a team we cannot take lightly. What I liked about Detroit is they brought the energy in their home opener. Now, I get it. It's a home opener. The fans are up for it. The players are up for it. The entire state of Detroit are up for it. You know, Detroit, Michigan, they're all up for it. You know what I mean? But this is not a home opener anymore. We're going through the season, and the Bulls have to pick up their wins. So the one thing I want to see from the Bulls, you could talk about points, defense, whatever the case may be, dominating the paint, energy. Match their energy. They're a young team. They like to run. They play with energy, and they keep things simple. But at the end of the day, their energy, in my opinion, it made the difference in that game. So the Bulls have to match their energy and maybe take it up a notch if they want to walk away with a win against Detroit. Just because they're young does not mean that they're easy to beat. And we learned that the hard way the first time out. So we shall wait and see. Detroit are looking good in my eyes. Will they win this game against the Bulls? I hope not, but we shall see. I'll be doing a watch along for this game as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.